Hey there, how are you today? My name is Dana Damara. Thank you so much for joining. Um, Full Moon Aries, full moon in October. Can you believe it's October already? What happened to the year? I don't really know what's happening anymore. Actually, that's a lie. I've been paying a lot of attention, actually more attention than normal. And I want to say thank you, first of all, for joining me. Those of you who haven't listened to this recording with me before, I just go through the aspects of this full moon, this lunation cycle, and just give some tips and tricks on how to kind of work with this energy. One thing I do want to say, and I kind of preface all of the recordings with this, is that astrology is a science, and it is a map, a blueprint, if you will. It's also very intuitively guided. So a lot of this is based on my own intuition and even maybe some projections. So what I encourage you to do is take this and all of the recordings with um, your own heart, with your own idea of how this energy resonates with you. You know, I never want to say it's going to do this and this is what's going to happen and then this and this, because then we believe that. And what I want to go along with is actually the theme of the week, which is choice. We have a choice. We always have a choice. So I just want to bring that into this recording because the energy is pretty, well, and the astrology it is, well, it's like record astrology. We haven't seen astrology like this since 1988, and since like 200 years ago. So it's really big astrology for transformation. And so um, it may or may not be affecting you, and it is definitely affecting you differently than someone else. So my invitation is to just be really in a state of grace as much as you can, right? So I want to go through this with you. My invitation to you is to grab something to write with or write on if you want to take notes. Sometimes that helps me, then I look back at it later, but you will have access to this anytime. So, and then as soon as you're ready, just join us. I just want to start with a little quiet time, a little meditation, a little pause, right? So go ahead, and when you're ready, find a comfortable seat. Close your eyes, take a couple of deep breaths in through the nose, always in through the nose, and then out through the mouth. So allow yourself to just breathe all that breath out through your mouth. And then just after you've done that a few times and you get sort of settled in, just find a space to spin that gaze back behind the eyes. So you're just closing the eyes and looking behind you, really, into this vast bit of nothing. And just be in a space of acknowledging this moment in time as separate from the moment before. Let's remember that we are a part of this massive universe that we can't even begin to measure. And, we are just this little teeny tiny speck of dust standing on a spinning ball of energy flying through the universe. And yet, it's so important. Our thoughts are so important. Our thoughts have so much power. And so just pausing to breathe really gives us this opportunity to direct our thoughts in a way that is more in alignment with our heart, and really tune out any kind of external static or negativity that is trying to persuade its way into our being. So the breath has this beautiful power of just teaching us how to pause and how to kind of redirect where we're going, the train that we're on, and how slow or fast it goes. And take a few more deep breaths. And during this time, you can always pause the recording and just join us when you're ready. So it's one of those things where it's the beauty of being at home. As soon as you're ready, though, go ahead and open the eyes and we'll begin. So I don't know if you guys can hear outside or not. I was going to shut my window, but actually like the sound of the kids outside. There's all the kids in the neighborhood. I have all these little kids in the neighborhood. They're so stinking cute. And they're always outside, always outside, which I love. And, you know, those statues, those little like plastic, like slow down, the little yellow guy or girl, I guess. There's like 8 of them on my street because I don't want anybody speeding. But I'm just going to leave the window open because I actually love listening to them. They make me happy. So, God, full moon in Aries. Oh my gosh, full moon in Aries. Full moon in Aries is on October 1st, 2020. We are in 2020 still. Yes, last time I checked. And it's at 2:05 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that's the time here in California. You can do a little thing on the computer to figure out what time that is for you, but it's 2:05 here. And 2:05 is the time of when the moon is at its peak. It's the fullest bit of its peak. And so the biggest thing with this full moon, and I'm going to show you the chart in a moment, but the biggest thing with this full moon is that it has an aspect to Mars, and well, Mars has an aspect to Saturn, but the moon actually has an aspect to well, I'll just show you the whole. I'll show you the whole chart here. So it just makes it easier for me. La, la, la. Here, I'm going to show it to you. There's these really epic aspects that are just so important to understand. So full moon Aries, the moon is actually conjunct to Chiron. And this is one that I want you to keep in, hold on a second. This is one that I want you to keep in your little back pocket, is that the moon is actually conjunct to Chiron. And because why that's so important is because with the moon conjuncting Chiron, Chiron is the planet of healing. So this is the first aspect I want to share with you before I share everything else, because when I start to talk about everything else, it's going to seem a little like restrictive and angsty and aggressive, and that's all true. But above all of that, I want you to remember that the moon is conjunct Chiron, which means all of this is happening for one reason and one reason only, and that's for healing. Okay, and I'll just show you where that is on here. So if you look at this chart here, and I think you can see this, I hope you can, you'll see, I'm going to put my glasses on because then I can see better too. So here's the moon right here down at the bottom where Aries is, and then Chiron is within 2 degrees. So the moon is this full moon is all about healing, like healing. And then we've got Mars right here in Aries, which has really been a showstopper, hasn't it? Jeez. So just keep in mind that when the moon is conjunct Chiron, the moon is sensitivity, the moon is the feminine, Chiron is the healer, and Chiron is in retrograde right now. So all of our healing lessons are almost like in slow motion. And so we're being offered these opportunities to look at these healing lessons with a deeper sense of, oh gosh, I don't want to use prophetic words like gratitude and grace, but almost like an awakening, like, oh, that's what I need to be healing right now. Okay, yeah, I get it. And so we can actually take these situations that are coming up with all this other tough astrology and look at them in a different way. So hopefully that makes sense. I'm gonna go back a screen, 2 screens actually. So biggest thing, and I'm gonna actually stop share. So one thing I want you to know just overall, okay, is that when the moon is full, right, it's opposite the sun in the sky. So it's on the other side of the universe it's on the other side of the earth from the sky, from the sun. So the illumination of the sun is actually what is making the moon so bright. The key word being illumination. So with full moons, no matter what sign it's in, it's going to illuminate and make more intense. It's going to intensify whatever it is that's going on. That's just the way it is, you know. And it's a fact. Maybe it still is, but it was for a while, that more babies are born on full moons or right around full moons because that intensity is just a little stronger, right? So we're going to feel that with all the aspects that I'm about to go over with you, all of them. Everything, it just makes it more intense. When we talk about a lunation, and this is in my astrology course, okay? So we go from new moon to new moon. That's one lunation, okay? New moon, about 29 days. We have 13 of them a year, a calendar year. We'll go over that in another discussion. So we have 13. In between those two new moons is a full moon. So a new moon is like, okay, I'm going to make all these great intentions. I have all these amazing intentions. And if you didn't watch the last new moon, it was in Virgo, and it's about getting organized. Okay. So I'm going to set all these great intentions. Now we come to the full moon and we either go, yeah, look at me. I went through my whole list and I'm just like on it. Let me celebrate, or oh my God, like everything blew up and I didn't do anything, or somewhere in between. And so the full moon gives us this opportunity to see really where we are on our trajectory, okay, among other things. So this full moon in Aries, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen again. I think this is it right here. My full moon in Aries, the full moon in Aries is really powerful because we have these aspects. So the full moon isn't just a full moon Aries, which would be all fire and movement forward, which I'll talk about. It also depends upon the energy of that full moon, also depends upon what aspects we have happening. And this is the list of the aspects. We've got the moon conjunct Chiron, which is the first one I told you about. Uranus is opposite Mercury, okay? Mars is squaring Saturn. But let me just say, Mars is not just squaring Saturn, it's squaring Pluto and Jupiter, and I'll show you why. Because when you look at this big conglomeratory here of planets that are about to come above the horizon when the moon's full, you have Jupiter at 17 degrees Capricorn, Pluto at 22, and then you have Saturn at 25. So we have these energies at play that are very, I don't even know the word, not disruptive, but very powerful, transformative, change making. Okay, that's what this energy is about. So that's kind of where we're at. So I'm going to go through that with you. And I have a whole bunch of notes because I want to make sure I don't miss anything. So the first thing I want to talk about is Mars retrograde. Now, I think I may have done a recording on Mars retrograde, actually. I did. It's on YouTube. You can watch it there. So I talk all about why Mars retrograde is important. But if you don't have time to watch it, I'm just going to give you one thing, okay? Mars in retrograde is going to create angstiness. It's going to create assertiveness, aggression, anger. It's going to blow things out of us, out of proportion. It's going to take things to the next level. It's going to create a sense of like making a mountain out of a molehill. And if you think about it, let's think of it this way, right? So a lot of us have been in quarantine for a long time, right? And then when somebody asks us to do something that, 6 months ago is kind of like, wouldn't have been a big deal. Now we're kind of like, WTF, I'm not going to do that, because we're just like, and notice where Saturn is. Saturn is right there too. So we have Saturn, we have Pluto, we have Jupiter, Mars retrograde. Mars is like, I want to move forward. Let's go, let's go. Saturn is like, no. So Mars and Saturn are squaring each other, and Mars is in retrograde. So it's just much more, it's just angsty. And if it's not angsty in your own personal life, my invitation to you is just look to see what's going on in the world around you, and you might see it. Just don't get stuck, okay? So we also have this this energy with Mars retrograde that creates a sense of impulsivity, I think it is, where we want to just like do it. Let's just do it. And that's not going to be helpful. So one thing we want to do with this full moon is breathe. And I talked about it in class today. We always have a choice. We have a choice if we want to, what we want to create. We always have choice. And my invitation to you, I did this breath work today in class, to imagine the breath coming in through one side of the body, and that's the feminine side, swirling around in the heart, like picking up some love on the way, and then going out through the right side, which is the masculine, so that everything that we think, everything that we say, everything that we do, all has to kind of go through the heart And so if we do that, hopefully what comes out on the other end is kind, uh, and can be assertive. Courageously assertive was the word I used today. Um, we don't need to be aggressive, like just avoid aggressive behavior. Avoid aggressive people. If you see someone being aggressive or someone's being aggressive with you, just ground in, breathe, beam them some love and light, turn to the side, move in the other direction, let it go. If you feel like it needs to be something that is addressed, make sure you're addressing it from a place of love. And if you can't, don't address it. Just let it go. Let it go. It's so important right now. Okay. This energy with Mars and Aries, we haven't seen Mars retrograde Aries squaring Saturn like this with full moon since like 1988. It's been a long time. Okay. So it's important to just make sure that you are on your game of peace. Okay. And I think one thing for me that I just keep asking myself before I send an email or before I do whatever I'm doing, I ask myself, am I doing this with good intentions? What would be the ultimate outcome of what I'm saying, what I'm writing, what I'm sending, whatever? Okay. Just ask yourself. I want to talk a little bit more about this too. Yes, I want to talk just a teensy bit more about this aspect of Saturn, because Mars, and I want to give you dates. So Mars retrograde, I'm actually going to stop share. Mars retrograde, Mars started on September 9th. And again, you can go back and watch that video if you want. And it ends on November 13th. So we're talking about some pretty powerful energy here that is, it's like this, okay? And all somebody needs to do is go like that, and you could just fall over, okay? Don't let yourself do that. Breathe. Sorry about that. I'm sitting at a new table, and so I'm just not quite used to it yet. So where we have this square to all those other three planets is where it gets a little restrictive. Now, Jupiter just went direct, and which is a good thing, because Jupiter is the energy of wisdom. It's the planet of justice, abundance, expansion. You know, it's a planet of joy. Saturn is restriction. Saturn is karma. Saturn is time. It's the Lord Kronos. It's like we structure, we want things done this certain way, this certain time. If you don't like it, it's too bad. This is the way it is. Pluto is the planet of transformation. Pluto is depth. Pluto is let's get to the bottom of it. And Mars is squaring all three of them. I'm sorry, it's not funny. It's really not funny. So we want to move away from that idea of aggression. And the word I was talking a lot about in class today was courageous assertiveness. Courageous assertiveness is fine, because we also don't want to be a doormat. We don't want to be like, oh, well, it's really uncomfortable, so I'm just going to let that go. Like if there's something that needs to be cleared, that you know needs to be shifted, then just ground, drop into the heart, practice ahimsa, it's compassion, and just do your best to be courageously assertive. And if you don't already have guides or angels or, you know, some sort of higher power that you subscribe to, I would get on that, because it just makes life a little easier, you know. You can have a peaceful army of support if you call it in. So we have this energy, we want to move away from aggression. We can move into courageous assertiveness. Remember, courage is the heart. So moving forward with that sense of love, but calm, peace, quiet, still. Okay. The energy we've been sitting in since January is this energy like a volcano. And maybe you don't feel it. And if you don't feel it, I think that's great. Good for you. But it's like this little undercurrent of like, you know, and then we start to like get leveled out. And I'm like, okay, this is great. Okay. Whew. And then like something happens and everybody as a collective is like, what, you know, so we've got to, whenever I see energy like this, I feel like the most powerful thing to do is to get even deeper into your practice. Get even deeper into your ritual. Get even deeper into your, your internal gaze. Your internal gaze, the what's going on with me? How am I projecting? What am I, not taking blame, but really looking at self. Okay. So during this time, go inward. Okay. Go inward. Just this opportunity with Mars retrograde and Mars squaring all these planets, it's like looking at the edge of this volcano and knowing that it's going to erupt at some point, because you can like feel the lava and you can feel everything kind of like rumbling underneath your skin. So something's going to happen, whether it blows off a little steam or it lets off a little smoke or it implodes. But hopefully, if we keep that idea in mind of peaceful revolution, calm, cool, collected, courageous assertiveness from the heart space, that eruption won't be destructive. It'll just be truthful and a little less. Somebody explained it to me yesterday. They said, God, who was that? Anyways, they said, oh yes, I remember who it was. So they said, it's kind of like the waves coming in, right? So you're sitting at the edge of the beach and the waves are huge and they're coming in and they're coming in, and they could either come in and take you over, or they can just kind of lap at your feet, and you can jump into the wave, even though it looks like crazy current, or you can just kind of move your chair back a little bit and just watch for a little while. Move the chair back a little bit, watch for a while. And if you're going to jump in, make sure you are jumping in with a grounded sense of love. That's like the most important thing. It's a good one, right? I have all these other aspects. I'm going to talk about Mars in particular a little bit more, and I'm just going to go through all three of these things. So Mars squaring Saturn. So when planets square each other, it's like they're running into each other in the universe. They're really not, but they're creating a 90-degree angle. So they create this tension. When Mars squares Saturn, it makes everything a little bit stronger. So it makes restrictions stronger. It makes whatever it is that's annoying you stronger. It's making everything like, oh yeah, well, you have to stay inside for one more week, or we're not going to tell you really what's happening for one more week, and you're just like, what? But remember that all of that boils down to your illusion of control. You never had control in the first place. The restriction is whatever it is offering you an opportunity to look at things a little bit differently. Okay. And the best thing you can do is breathe, because something will come about that will support the end result in being peaceful. Just try not to push back unnecessarily. And then because it brings a sense of impatience, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I have absolutely seen impatience. I've even seen it in myself a little bit, and then I'm like, whoa, Dana, put on the brakes, So there's a sense of impatience where people are like, I'm so tired of being inside. This is such crap. I don't want to do this anymore. And then throw in like all these different theories about what's going on and people's different viewpoints and different socioeconomic things. And then, let's throw in all the bigger things that are going on the planet, like all the things that were going on the planet before that all this happened that maybe we've forgotten about. And now look, like all these things that are just like more than our nervous systems are supposed to take on, honestly. The best thing you can do is breathe and be patient, because I always try to go back to, we were all born at this moment in time for a reason. And it was to be in this moment and to make a difference. And you have a gift and I have a gift. And if we waste our time being pissed off and upset and unnecessarily pushing people's buttons and being manipulative, we're going to lose the reason why we're here. So I don't want that for you or for me or for anyone. So just try to be in a place of like where breath work is the most important thing. don't sleep with your phone next to your bed so you wake up and start scrolling. I fell back into the habit of having my phone next to my bed for my alarm. And I was like, what am I doing? This makes me feel awful, So just do this thing where you can create some new habits for yourself that create and promote a connection to a heart. Moon square Pluto, again, another kind of aggro, angsty, like, because you get to the bottom of things and you go, oh, I didn't realize this. Oh my God. Because you dug deeper, right? And then you go, now what am I going to do? Damn it. So don't do that. Look at it more like, wow, okay, this is something I didn't really plan on. This is a deeper idea of what's really coming up. Okay, I am now empowered with new information. I'm going to sit, I'm going to breathe, and then I'm going to move forward in a confident way of what I want to say and how I want to do this. Because remember what I said in the very beginning? Remember? Do you remember what I said? I said, I'm going to share the screen. Ready? Chiron, Moon Chiron, Moon Chiron Aries Mars, Moon Chiron Aries Mars. Healing. This is healing. Go slow. And don't worry about everybody else's healing. Well, he should do this because then he could heal himself. Okay. Not your business. Not your business. One business, yours. That's it. Okay. I'm going to stop share. Okay. Speak clearly, concisely, and in deep truth. Whatever it is that you have to say, whatever you have to portray, let it be clear, concise truth from the heart. Easy peasy, okay? And then Mars square Jupiter. So remember, Mars is the initiator, Jupiter's expansion. So this is another positive aspect because we have Jupiter now direct, right? And so even though it's challenging, at the end of this, whenever that is, we can all speculate, and we can all speculate as to what this is. But we have this opportunity to experience something amazing that is beautiful beyond our comprehension. But if we go into it with anger, that's what we're gonna, or like, God, when is this gonna be done? That's like saying to God, right? Like whatever God you believe in, okay? That's like saying, could you just tell me the game plan? Because I'm kind of annoyed with what's going on right now, and I need to know everything right now. And God's like, no, I'm not going to tell you. Like we can't. And I'm laughing because I used to have this big issue with I need to know. It's a control thing. We know zero. And all we can really control is our reaction to this weird game we're in right now. So just be mindful of your reactions. Make them a response that is loving, kind, and with breath. Because I don't know about you, but I want to move into the next bit with like this. This is how I want to go into the next bit. I want to go like this. Oh God, okay. National Nap Week. Everybody sleep. We have now a new holiday called the National Week of Ultimate Napping, where we all just sleep to reset our nervous system. That's what I want to do. I want to share my screen with you real quick again too. Okay, so I want to go over this retrograde thing at the bottom. So, and this is important. So Pluto goes direct 3 days after the full moon. Okay, so it's on the 4th. And then Saturn is direct on Monday, the 28th, I think it is. So in between, on either side of this full moon, you have 2 planets going direct. That means they're like slowing down. They've been going backwards. And now they go, just kidding. I'm going to move forward now. Okay, here we go. So big fat planets, or little, medium size, but they're moving in a different direction. So that kind of shifts everything. It's like if you've been like looking at something and you're like, God, this sucks. I wish I could do this. I wish I could do that. I can't figure out what the answer is. It might come to you. But if you're angry or you're pissed off or you're focused on the past, or you're in somewhere else, it's not going to come to you. So try to be open, try to breathe, because with those planets shifting, it's actually positive. It's actually positive. It's like turning the wheel of your car really fast. Like, oh my God, I got to turn right. And then everything goes in your car, you know? It's like that, okay? So this is actually really, really, really beautiful energy. And on December 21st, 2020 is when we experience another beautiful aspect with Jupiter that will really shift the tides. So I want you to really move into this with so much grace and just a sense of truth and honesty and love, and just do your best. Just do your best, okay? I'm gonna stop sharing the screen here. Okay. The other one I want to talk a little bit about is the Mercury opposite Uranus. So remember, those two planets are higher mind, lower mind. Okay, Mercury is the lower mind, Uranus is the higher mind, the unconscious. Uranus is, you know, our ideas, our thoughts, our things that come to us in our dream. And Uranus is retrograde right now. And by the way, so is Chiron. I didn't go through that whole thing. And so is Neptune. So we still have those other planets in retrograde, but it's opposite Mercury, which is, Mercury is going to go into retrograde on, I believe it's October 13th. So we're going to have these two are opposite one another right now. Let me make sure. Yes. Well, they'll be totally opposite one another mid-October, but we have this higher mind opposite lower mind. These two planets, Mercury rules like media, communication, secrets. This is like unveiling of secrets. So when the two of them are opposite one another and going to retrograde mid-month, it's like, are you kidding me? We're going to, more secrets will be revealed. And sometimes, I don't know about you, but when a secret is revealed to me, sometimes it's great. Well, actually, let me take that back. I wish I could delete that, but that's okay. I don't want to label it as great. What I want to say is that we want to have a sense of equanimity whenever whatever secrets come up for us, where we can then process them in a way that isn't angsty. So we're not like, oh my God, that's crazy, I had no idea. You know, or, oh my God, this is great. When you're not on either side of that pendulum, you're in the middle. Wow, that's interesting. So that you don't sway your response, okay? I hope that makes sense to you guys. I keep saying okay, like you're gonna respond to me. Okay. So this Pluto Saturn conjunction, that one in Capricorn I showed you, you know, we haven't had a conjunction like that where all the planets were in retrograde for like thousands of years. And we have it now, and it's shifting a lot of things. So I guess all I can say is, in this shift, I know how I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to put my notes aside. So I know how I'm going to explain it to you. So I had a friend tell it to me this way. She said, Dana, it's like you're driving down a dirt road, like a road of construction, and you have this fishbowl or a fish tank in the back of your truck, and it's really bumpy and there's no top on it, and everything is like sloshing around and you're just trying to get down the road without busting the tank and sparing as many fish as possible. You don't need to feel like, I gotta create this and I gotta go here. It is creative energy. So if you are, yay, keep going. That's what the world needs. But if you're dealing with something right now, don't bypass it. Don't normalize it. Don't get in there, drive down, slow your truck down, you know, just pay attention to the road. Pay attention to the road. It's important. Okay. So I'm going to give you just a couple little tips and tricks. Okay. So this energy is truly asking us to look at things from a higher perspective and move to a higher level of understanding of our own life, our own roles, and how we, what difference we actually have in the world. And I want you to do that from a place of grace and strength and um, and poise and innocence. Like, just be in a place of quiet confidence. That's the word. Be in a place of quiet confidence. And remember too, if you're watching this, you understand dark and light, and most people do on some level, but you understand dark and light. And so be the light. Be the light. Okay, just be the light as often as you can. And I know it's challenging. I know it is. Right before I recorded this recording, I had an instance happen where it was exactly this astrology. Exactly. And I was so tested. And I think I did pretty good. I think I gave myself about an 85. I didn't get an A, but I definitely got a B plus on how I responded. And I'm okay with a B plus, because a B plus will get me down the bumpy road. An A will get me there, but a B plus will too. Okay, so just do your best to be calm, to be connected, to source, to God. Dive into your ritual so you got time for nothing else except what you need to take care of, and think about it this way too. When I go back in time, I think about how often I've talked about the sacred masculine and the divine feminine trying to come into balance. We are there. That's where we're at. We're at that moment in time where the divine feminine is saying, I want balance with you, masculine. I don't want you to overpower me. And this isn't male or female, you guys, okay? This is that masculine energy that lives within all of us. And the feminine energy is saying, I don't want you to dominate over me anymore. I don't want to push so hard. I don't want to have to prove myself all the time. I don't want to live like that anymore. I don't want to have to always be in an oppressive role. I don't want that. I want to receive. I want to be soft. I want to soften. I want to be open to God's graces. That's all that's happening. And because we've been doing it, we've been living life this one way, it's challenging because we're trying to change on a global level. Okay. So just know that the more you can soften without being submissive, the better. Courageous assertiveness, right? Be courageous, come from love. We have a choice on how we're going to experience this next phase of being. I know some people were calling it the Aquarian age, like we are moving into Aquarius. So we're moving into this from very Capricorn, very dense, to air. So things are going to be challenging, right? But choose light all the time. And when you feel that sense of darkness or anger or angst or resistance or gripping or anything that's like that low vibe, that low vibe, notice it and just go, whoa, okay, oh God, why? What is that is upsetting me and making me want to grip and hold on? Like, no, I just can't anymore, right? Okay. Move away from hate, move away from aggression, move away from those low vibes, and notice them on subtle levels too. Notice them on subtle levels, because they'll come through, and sometimes we don't notice. Ask that you start to notice where you're projecting out this negative low vibe, and just ask that you bring it back to a higher vibratory frequency. Just, I don't even know how to say it anymore. Just all in love. Because remember, we come back to healing. And we're trying to heal a really big planet that has been under, I shouldn't say it's gone down the wrong road, because there's, oh my God, so much, and nothing is ever wrong, right? but we need to change course a little bit as a collective. We need to course correct. And we want to do that for healing. So to try to look at it from that perspective, right? I had one of my teachers say it to me this way. She said, it's like that moment in time too, just before, and some of you will resonate with this and some of you won't, but just before you have your baby, like if you have given a birth to a baby, right? It's that last surge. It's that like, where you're like, God, I've been at this forever. But and then like it's so painful and there's all this pain and discomfort along with it, and there's all this unknown, like, oh my God, what's gonna happen? And then the baby comes and you don't even remember what the pain felt like. You're like, wow, look at the beauty of this. This is amazing. Oh my God, it's a miracle, right? Well, that's how I was anyways. And you forget about the pain, but you have to go through it in order to get to the birth. I remember saying that when I was pregnant, actually, both times, like, there's only one way through this, and that's through it. So be armed with love, be armed with peace, be armed with forgiveness, be armed with breath, 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 breath. And for God's sakes, just let go of the things that don't matter anymore. Let go of the things that don't matter anymore. Move forward in a sense, with a sense of grace and wanting something new. Say, I don't want to live like this anymore. This is not what I want to be, do, contribute, argue about, whatever. I don't want this anymore. This isn't what I want. Okay, well, what do you want? This is what I want. Visualize it, feel it, say it, imagine it's already happening. It's the best way to handle this full moon. It's not easy, but you were born for this, and so was I. We were all born for this. Okay, and just be nice, man. Be nice. Be nice. No, you can't control everything. No, you can't. Just your reaction. Okay, I'm going to share the screen with you one more time. So I hope that was helpful, you guys. So I am teaching weekly classes, online live stream. And I think I'm going to start teaching at Four Moon Spa in person. We just have to follow some CDC guidelines, which I'm okay with. I read through them and I'm okay with them. I can't control them. So just keep your eye out for that if you live here in Encinitas. It's going to be a very limited class, I think like 10 or 12 people. And then yoga teacher training. So I'm in one right now. We're going to start another one in February. And I am partnering again with Yoga Flow up in San Francisco because I love Kathleen so much. And I love that tribe. And quite frankly, I just want to be around them all the time. So I'll be doing that in partnership with them. It is fully online, but know that the moment we can have access to in-person meetings, we will. But I'm not pushing it. Yoga Alliance approved the online format for the full 2021. So we'll be able to do it online. And I know some people are very, very hesitant. I was too. I still am, like, really? But I have found from doing this now 3 times that it's really beautiful to connect. It's very, very beautiful to connect. And I'm honored that this is what I get to do. So we'll be starting that. And then also it's not on here, but I do want to tell you about, stop share. 2 or 3 times a year, I offer up a 21-day meditation. I used to charge for it. I'm not charging for it anymore. It was $21 for 21 days. I'm just offering it for free. I'm going to open the doors to that on October 1st on the full moon, so you can register for the 21-day meditation. If you've already registered for it, you don't have to do it again. You don't have to do it again. You already probably have it in your portal. If you do, just toss your email in there and you'll get it. But it's a great time to drop into some deeper meditation, deeper practices. Oh yeah, and then my Reiki training, we're gonna do 2 for 1. So people who've already signed up, you get to bring a friend, and people who haven't signed up, you can bring a friend. And this is why, because Reiki is a art of remembering that you're connected to divine nature. And the energy isn't something that I do for you or give to you. You already have it. It's just a remembrance of who you are. So we're offering the Reiki training for buy one, get one free. So, and I'm doing this because I just want people to have more tools in their arsenal. That's all. I just want tools, 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 tools. So, wow, that was really fun and a little bit longer than normal. So thank you so much for being here. Very, very grateful to all of you for how you show up in this practice, in this world. And I can't wait till we can all get together. Please be nice. And when you can't be nice, just breathe and walk the other way, because none of us are perfect. Don't try to be perfect. It's going to get real tiring. And just know that I love you and I miss you. And I can't wait to see all of us in real time again. Until then, take care. Happy full moon in Aries. Ta-ta for now.